Following a number of corruption scandals that involve some top members of the political establishment, and there's been an all too common response from many of these corrupt politicians where it appears that they and other officials believe themselves to be above the law or that they're worthy of some sort of special treatment because of the influence that they hold. This recent scandal with Bob Menendez, it's actually been developing for a number of years, but it's just hitting the courts now. This attitude of these establishment politicians, these elites believing themselves to be above the law, it seems like it may have backfired already in this trial. Menendez sent a request to the judge asking to delay his corruption trial because he's a senator. He is the reasoning that he gave. This is today's report, and I'll follow up with some more detail on the actual scandal itself. I touched on it in my last video, but the request from Menendez, this was to a federal judge. The report from the Daily Caller, it reads, a federal judge in New Jersey rejected Senator Bob Menendez's request to allow breaks in his criminal trial in order to fulfill his Senate duties. This the senator was seeking special treatment in this case. Menendez's lawyers filed a motion requesting that his upcoming criminal trial take recesses anytime the senator is needed in Washington on official business. This is what they asked the judge. They argued that forcing the senator to leave an ongoing trial to attend the congressional business would violate his due process rights. This was a quote. It reads, a trial taking place during a session of Congress risks involuntarily denying Senator Menendez his rights to due process and confrontation, unless he elects to forego his constitutional duty to cast his vote on critical issues pending before Congress so that he can be present in the courtroom. This was a quote from his lawyer. This appeared to irritate the judge in this case, which may be surprising to some because we've seen a pattern where these elites, obviously, they've been protected by authorities, but this judge does not seem to be going along with Menendez's request to delay this trial. This article from the Daily Caller reads that William Wallace, the judge in the case, appeared irritated by the request in Friday's motion, his dismissing of this motion. This was his response. His quote from the judge reads, the court will not serve as concierge to any party or lawyer, Walls wrote. The motion from a practical perspective is nigh frivolous. He further added that he suspected the motion was part of a broader strategy to impress the jurors with Menendez's importance. So he's definitely calling out Menendez in his request, not only denying it, but saying that he thinks that there was a shady motive behind this as well. The judge further said that most defendants have similar obligations, which the court does not accommodate. So he's saying this is not a unique situation. He does not deserve special treatment in this case. This was the exact quote. It reads, defendant Menendez claims that he is in a unique situation because his voting duties are on a schedule not of his own making, but so are the duties of the radio repairman, the cab driver, the businessman, anybody that works, basically. The judge himself also says yet none would claim the right to dictate the schedule of their own criminal trial. The senator has previously attempted to leverage his office in the course of the current prosecution. He attempted to escape indictment by arguing his activities were protected by the Constitution's Speak and Debate Clause, which protects lawmakers from prosecution in connection with official legislative work. He's currently facing 14 felony counts of various corruption charges. And again, this is something that had been developing for a number of years, but it actually could go much deeper than many had previously believed. This is a report from yesterday that reads that there's some new information that Harry Reid, former Senate Minority Leader, Senator Harry Reid, attempted to ask Obama to help the donor to Menendez that's at the center of this the bribery part of this corruption scandal, This is the basic rundown of the scandal. If you have not watched my previous report on this, this is just from yesterday, this information. But basically, the gist of this scandal with Senator Bob Menendez is that he took bribes from a wealthy doctor, a friend of his, started more than a decade ago when he first got to Senate. He then lied about this to the public. This is what's being alleged by prosecutors in these court documents. The bribery scheme allegedly began shortly after Menendez's elevation to the Senate in 2006, when Melgen, this is the doctor friend of Menendez, this Dr. Melgen began a pattern of treating Menendez to weekend and week-long getaways in the Dominican Republic that would continue for the next several years. It's a 30-page brief on this scandal. Menendez faces federal charges for allegedly accepting lavish gifts and trips from Melgen, including access to a private jet in exchange for using his political power to help advance his friend's personal and business interests. For the first 4 years of the corruption scheme, the all-expense-paid trips Melgen provided often included free round-trip flights on Melgen's private jet for Menendez and his various guests. Evidence will also include testimony from witnesses such as guests and pilots who were present during the, quote, lavish vacations Melgen furnished for Menendez. It's also being said that this bribery scheme continued to grow in magnitude and breadth over time. Menendez, the senator, took up these bribery offers. He requested a room. This was at a $1,500 a night hotel that George Clooney and Maria Sharapova had stayed at. The senator requested a room that had a king bed, work area with internet, limestone bath with soaking tub, an enclosed rain shower, views of courtyard or streets. And they will book it for you, he wrote. It would need to be in my name. It's being paid for by this doctor. He also had access to this private jet. This is another quote from the prosecutors, reading Menendez enjoyed these flights and vacations free of charge, but in a scheme to hide the trips from public view and keep the corrupt pact secret. Menendez mentioned nothing of the gifts on his annual financial disclosure forms. So there are a number of private trips, and one of the ways that Menendez allegedly paid back the doctor was by requesting people higher up in the party. Harry Reid tried to go all the way to Obama with this. This was another report from yesterday that reads that former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid personally asked the Obama administration to help this Florida eye doctor who was bribing Menendez, who was accused of paying Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey with hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. The senator asked Reid in November 2011 to pressure the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services to drop its ruling against Dr. Solomon Melgen, wherein the agency claimed the eye doctor overbilled Medicaid for $8.9 million. So this doctor cheated allegedly Medicaid out of $9 million, just under $9 million, and Senator Menendez ended up getting Harry Reid to call the Obama White House to attempt to apply pressure on the administration to intervene in the case and get this doctor off the hook, essentially, for stealing $9 million of taxpayer funds. This aide officially, this is what's officially being reported, refused to get involved in the matter, so this went as high as Harry Reid. Harry Reid is, it appears, implicated in this. He did attempt to have Obama intervene. The aide said that he did not pass this on to Obama. This is what we're officially hearing. He says he refused to get involved in the matter after he realized the case involved a single doctor and a federal agency. It's unclear if Harry Reid found other means to contact Obama or if others did get involved in trying to delay or bury this case. But hopefully we do have more information on this as the trial continues. It does seem like a good sign, the judge's response so far. It's surprising, to be honest. Let me know what you think about what is happening in this scandal. If you'd leave a comment, that's greatly appreciated. If you could leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, that's great. And I will follow up shortly. Thanks, everyone.